You're standing in the kitchen prepping dinner, or maybe you're unwinding on the couch watching the evening news. Suddenly, you feel a weight against you. Your dog saunters over and just drops their entire body weight against your leg. It's like a 60-pound furry sack of potatoes just decided your shin is the last remaining support pillar on Earth. Most owners' first reaction? We usually chuckle and think, oh, their legs must be tired. Or, they're just buttering me up for a piece of chicken. Or simply, why are you being so lazy? If you're busy, you might even have to brace yourself just to keep from losing your balance. But animal behavior science tells a completely different story. When your dog leans on you, they aren't being lazy, they aren't tired, and surprisingly, most of the time, this behavior has absolutely nothing to do with food. What your dog is actually doing in that exact moment is one of the most intense and profound forms of physical communication they are capable of. It's the result of thousands of years of evolution, directly tied to brain chemistry and ancient survival instincts. And it is a privilege that they reserve for exactly one person. But don't brush it off just yet, because while this is usually a beautiful gesture, there is a very fine line you need to learn how to recognize. There are times when this leaning isn't about affection at all. It's an urgent medical cry for help. It's a red alert signal that 90% of owners with senior dogs completely miss until it's too late. We are going to decode that life or death warning sign later in this video. But for now, let's unpack the real reason that sack of potatoes chose your leg as their ultimate safe haven. First, let's look at their biology. Dogs don't have arms. They can't wrap them around your neck for a hug the way humans exchange affection. So, how do they show love in the most intense way possible? They use their body weight. When your dog drops their entire weight against your leg, that is exactly the canine version of a hug. Research shows that at the precise moment this physical contact happens, both your brain and your dog's brain simultaneously release oxytocin, often called the love hormone. It's a perfect chemical loop. They lean on you to find peace, and that physical pressure deepens the bond between you both. But it doesn't stop at affection. Think about their posture for a second. Do they usually turn their back or press their side against your leg instead of facing you? It might look like they're ignoring you to look somewhere else, but in pack psychology, this is the ultimate expression of trust. In the wild world of their ancestors, the back and the flanks are the most vulnerable blind spots. By pressing these critical weak points against you and facing outward, your dog is entrusting their very survival to you. They are telling you, I know you've got my back. When they lean on you, their nervous system is allowed to completely let go because they know they don't have to be on guard when you're around. And here is the third truth, the most magical part that most owners never realize. Sometimes they aren't leaning on you because they need comfort. They're doing it because you do. Dogs are incredibly brilliant emotional barometers. Thanks to their superior sense of smell, they can actually sense the shift in your cortisol levels, your stress hormone radiating from your skin. They hear your heart rate speed up. They notice your breathing get shallower when you're sad, anxious, or frustrated. The second they detect that instability, their healing instinct kicks in. Shifting a massive amount of weight onto your leg is their way of instinctively applying deep pressure therapy. This is a real medical technique used by human psychologists to soothe panic attacks. Your dog doesn't need a medical degree to know this. They are using their own body as a living, weighted blanket, pressing down to force your nervous system to decelerate, stabilize your heart rate, and help you calm down. They are using their entire physical weight to help carry the burden in your heart. But as promised at the beginning of this video, there is a life or death line you absolutely need to recognize. While leaning is mostly an expression of love and protection, sometimes it is the silent cry for help from a body in pain. Especially if you have a senior dog, you need to watch how they lean against you closely. If this behavior suddenly happens way more often than usual, or if they slide down, lean heavily with a tremble, or struggle to keep their balance, that is no longer an affectionate hug. You are becoming a literal physical crutch. This is a very common clinical sign of osteoarthritis, spinal degeneration, or muscle atrophy in older dogs. Your dog simply doesn't have the strength to support their own body weight anymore, and they are forced to borrow that support from your legs. However, the true red alert signal, the one that directly threatens their life, lies in a shift in what they are leaning on. If one day your dog bypasses your leg and instead stands blankly, pressing the top of their head, or rigidly leaning their body against a wall, a door frame, or the leg of a table, please don't brush it off or assume they're just being quirky. In veterinary medicine, this behavior has an official name: head pressing. This is absolutely not a relaxed posture. It is an emergency symptom signaling severe damage to the central nervous system. The cause could be poisoning, head trauma, liver disease, or, most dangerously, a tumor pressing against the brain. When a dog presses their head into a wall, they are desperately trying to relieve the excruciating pressure building up inside their skull. At this point, every second counts. Your ability to spot the subtle difference between a loving lean and an abnormal wall press is the single thing that could save your four-legged best friend's life. So, once you've ruled out any health concerns, the next time you're standing at the sink doing dishes or sitting on the couch and you feel that familiar weight press against your leg, remember what we just uncovered. Don't be so quick to gently nudge them away. Understand that it isn't an annoyance, and it certainly isn't laziness. That is 60 pounds of absolute, unconditional trust. It is the only way a creature without words can try their absolute hardest to hug you, to wash away the exhaustion of your day, and to prove that you are the single most important thing in their mind. Out there, the world is massive. You might just feel like an ordinary person navigating the quieter chapters of life. But to the soul leaning against you right now, you are the center of the entire universe. You are their family, their pack, their home. You are the one and only safe haven they will ever want to return to for the rest of their life. If this video made you want to reach down and hug your dog right this very second, hit that subscribe button. Your dog deserves an owner who takes the time to understand them this deeply. And drop a comment below and let me know, what is your dog's favorite time of day to lean against you? I'll see you in the next video.